big story here. Our old friend Taty Castellanos scored all 4 Girona goals. First player to score 4 against Real Madrid in a La Liga game since the 1940s. And actually the first player to score 4 against Real Madrid in any competition since 10 years ago. Robert Lewandowski did it for Dortmund in a Champions League semifinal match that I covered at Fox. Just an incredible performance. Obviously, MLS Twitter was reveling in this. What did you make of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a wonderful story and a wonderful moment for him. And yes, there is this attachment because he's one of ours, and he came through that system. And I guess it's, for some it's proof of concept and all that kind of stuff. But, here's a guy that was baptized on the diamond, over there in New York, and scored a boatload of goals and got his move that he wanted. And then, it was kind of out of sight, out of mind, and we didn't really think about him a whole lot. And to remind us, that's a hell of a way to do it.
I will say Castellanos is a tricky one in terms of that proof of concept. You could argue that he highlights the lack of respect that still exists for MLS. This is a young Argentinian center forward with his ability who put up the numbers he put up in his last couple of years in MLS, and they couldn't get a single European club to make a big offer for him. He was dead set on going to Europe, so City Football Group had to step in, move him to another one of their clubs in Girona. Now that he's doing well in La Liga and he scored 4 goals in a game against Real Madrid, presumably this summer he'll get a nice move. And because it was technically a loan from NYCFC to Girona, even if he never steps foot in New York again, if he's sold this summer, it will be NYCFC selling him to that European club. He'll show up on those lists of biggest MLS sales. Everybody will hold it up as this great success story, and to some degree it is. I mean, if that money goes into NYCFC's coffers and they can say that they helped develop him into the sort of player that can succeed in Europe, but it still bothers me that he had to go to Girona first and do well there to validate that he was a player worth spending big money on, that a European club
he's not a
do
different
that.
player now for having done that, right? He's still a great goal scorer, and a great goal scorer is a great goal scorer. But this is the world in which we live in.
As MLS embarks on this strategy, which I think is the correct one, they still have to fight some of these biases. I feel like there's a MLS tax both ways. When they go to buy a young South American, they have to pay above market value, and then when they go to sell them, they often get below market value. So you don't get quite the profit that you normally would in these situations. So I think it is something that MLS is still grappling with.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops every week. Subscribe now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.